This is the way that we bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. Igniting the fire within you. Exalting the melody of freedom. These are the things that will bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. So gather the faithful. Tell everyone to stand and shout loud. Shout loud. Shout loud. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Down, down, down.
Let me tell you, it's in the air. Joy is in the air. Love is in the air. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Don't sleep on it, brother. You might get left, sister. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Justice. No need to be counted, cause I am down. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Down for the end of racism, for the end of bigotry, cause I am down. For the end of misogyny, that's right. For all the isms out there, just down, down, down. Let's bring it down. Rise up, people. No more foolishness. And let's bring it way down.
Riding the river of change into the cries of contrition. This is the way that we bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. We are the children of Eden, dancing and celebrating freedom. We are the ones that must bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. So gather the faithful. Tell everyone to stand and shout loud. Shout loud. Shout loud. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. We've got to bring it down. Down. Stand up and shout. Stand up and shout. Rise
Accountability
together.
starts now. The Eric Dawson Radio Show.
Yeah. Rise up. Stand up, shouting loud.
If you are not prepared to come to that table and to represent that voice, don't come. Because we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice. And if you're worried about being marginalized and stereotyped, please don't even show up.
Well, she didn't mean that, did she? How God damn. Another one bites the dust. Don't. Another one bites the dust. Like, yo, I mean, come on. Gosh. Ayanna. Oh, God. Did they all support this ticket? Do you know? Did AOC support this ticket?
Support whose ticket, Eric? What are you talking about?
The Democrat.
AOC had to support the ticket because she's on the lineup at the Democratic convention to speak.
Yeah.
But apparently she did support it.
Yes, she did. And we should too.
Who's that on the line, Diane?
We should too what?
We should support it.
Why?
Well,
oh boy, bye. Don't start. It's too early.
Are you serious? No, Vincent.
I'm serious.
Vincent.
He's a Republican and he knows that. He's just faking and trying to pretend to be a Democrat.
No, I'm not faking and trying to be a Democrat. I'm not faking and trying to be a Democrat. But we should support this. We should get behind this. And this is why. Now, we all talk about it. And we know that neither of them has been the bulk of America's choice to run for the presidency. We know that. Okay? But I'm also going to take a leap of faith and say that it is by divine intervention that those two people are in place. And even though
wait a minute, it's divine. Wait.
Let me finish.
Well,
let me finish.
See,
let me finish my thought.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Those two right now are the only choice that we have. So let's take a stab at hope that those two can bring change through this administration.
All right, okay. No.
Change to our condition. Change to our condition.
Got it.
Change that can bring us something that can relieve from these food insecurities and change of this failed ideology that we've been living with.
So wait a minute. You can't pick and choose what's divine intervention and not, right? Donald Trump may be divine intervention. I mean, maybe because of divine intervention that he's here. So to do that, like, you know, that reminds me of when you have a fighter who goes in his corner and he prays and he talks about how God is on his side. And you know God's on your side, not the other fighter's side. Right? So I mean, come on. So I'm not. Look, if we're gonna go down this road of what's predestined, right? What God intervenes and how He intervenes. That's a rabbit hole that is for a 5-hour show, and I took a 5-hour energy drink, so maybe I can go that 5. maybe I can go that 5 hours. But listen,
Eric.
Yes,
right now,
Vincent.
They're our only choice.
No, they're not. Wait a minute.
Our other alternative is what got us in this situation.
No, what situation? Wait, Vincent. What situation are Black Americans in?
What situation are Black Americans in?
Yeah.
Okay. Pick an administration or era, and I'll give you that answer because that's a 5.
No. I'm saying right now, what condition are Black Americans in?
What condition are Black Americans in? Right now, we are disproportionately victims of the COVID virus.
No. You're speaking
ask the question, let me answer it.
But I don't want a micro response. I want a macro response. What condition? We're in the shitter. Wait a minute. We're in the shitter. Can we say that? Can we agree to that? So you want to?
I agree to that.
Right. So you want to be micro about it? Well, we got it. No, we are at the bottom of everything. Do you agree with that?
I agree that we are not the top of the food.
No. Not about being at the top. Like where we are, we can't even see the top. Like we're not even at the bottom. We're in the sub basement. You don't agree to that?
I agree to that.
Okay, so now
100%.
So now
you can now we can agree to disagree on this next question. Can Kamala Harris and Joe Biden make our situation worse?
Of course they can.
Yes. Now, can we take another chance on 4 more years of Trump?
Why not? They both can make it. All of them. Wait. All of them.
Eric, I go outside with a mask and a face shield and gloves.
Vincent.
You think I want to take another chance on 4 years?
Vincent.
Stop screaming.
Vincent, yeah. So Vincent, here's the deal, right? You're speaking MSNBC talking points right now. You're speaking CNN Don Lemon talking points right now, right? You see, because what I would say to you is this: if you're so concerned, and for all of you, and I gotta before I finish that, I'm gonna get back to all of you are so concerned. But I got from a family member of mine on the show that we did where Jody called in and berated me about my thoughts about Donald Trump. And my family member said, "Oh God, I hope none of your listeners really listen to what you say." He said I was deranged. But look, if all of you are so concerned about the coronavirus and the failures of leadership and the spread and the whatever, I want to see what you do with regard to your local and state government. See,
and that's a whole different subject.
no, it's not a different.
What I'm talking about.
No, Vincent. Okay, say I'm going to let you continue to interrupt me during the show. Go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead and interrupt me again. Go ahead.
Oh, Eric, what you're going into, we've already talked about, and that's not where I was going. I'm saying that right now, in terms of the presidency, in terms of national leadership, we need to change that. And those two are the only ones that are not Donald Trump and Mike Pence.
Okay, but Vincent, the reason I brought that up is because you said coronavirus. Those words came out of your mouth. And so now I'm saying, okay, fine. If that is your sticking point, that black people are suffering and dying because of corona, you screamed it out.
No.
Okay, you're gonna interrupt me again. Go ahead. You're gonna continue to interrupt me.
Okay, go ahead, Eric.
Okay, you screamed out, "I have to go outside with a mask on." That's what you said, right? Okay, and so what I'm saying is this: that for the part that Donald Trump has to play, kick him in the ass. But if that is really your issue about the fact that you have to go out with a face mask on, then I want to see black people show that same level, right, of energy at the polls when it comes to their local officials. But these same local officials who have failed, right, are part of this Democratic Party who are supporting these other candidates. I don't understand that. Somebody's got their sound up. Hello?
That's Vincent.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I heard you too.
Eric, on that point, I do not disagree.
Okay.
But we have to come to terms of this. Okay, we cannot. And I sat up here on listening and reading all this little crazy stuff that people were saying about the candidacy, and most of it and a lot of it is true. We've even talked about it. But what I'm saying to you right now is that those two are our best chance as to the solid leadership to lead us out of this pandemic. Those two right now are the only chance that we have of pushing or moving forward the black agenda to get one or two of us out of the bottom and progressing more. We're in a new norm right now, and the only thing that we're getting from leadership is it's going to end, and you don't need to wear a mask. We don't need any more failed ideology because we are disproportionately victims of this virus because of our underlying condition and food insecurities, not to mention our financial status. Those two right now are our best chance.
So our food insecurities, right, are a result of policies, right? Structural policies that were intended to keep us at the bottom. Now, how many years, not years, how many decades has Biden been in government and been a supporter of these policies that have led us to be food insecure? How many? No, answer my question. How many decades has he been? How many decades?
Let me answer that question with this. Who else running for president do we have?
Donald Duck. Write him in.
I'd vote for the devil before I voted for Trump.
I said Donald Duck. I didn't say Donald Trump.
Hey, well, we can write in Donald Duck as an actual campaign, but the actual voice actor who did the Donald Duck is dead. Now, who else do we have viable?
Listen, I'm saying to you this. The corporation white supremacy is brilliant. Brilliant. They have black people confused. See, I'm going to ask this question. Well, you answered the question, right? I said, well, at the beginning of the show, it says, what do black Americans expect? And what you expect is that Biden, like Moses, right, is going to lead the people, right, out of bondage, separate the sea, and lead us to
the promised land?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
That's not my words.
No. Well, I'm asking you, what is it that you expect by? What do you expect Biden?
What do I expect from Biden and Harris?
Yeah.
I expect solid leadership that will get America on the same page, so that we can not only flatten the curve, but crush the curve. I expect him to live up to the promise that he stated in bringing us back to being that shining example of a country that everybody looks up to. I expect to look.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
How many things on your list?
3.
Okay.
Okay. And the last one, I expect him to better our conditions that we are in right now.
Okay, so let me break that down for a second, right?
Go ahead.
So you expect him to put us back in the position where everybody looked at us as a shining example. So let's stay there for a second. So America was founded on treachery, on murder, on thievery, right? It was founded on brutality, right? It was founded on usury. It was founded on that, right? So I want to know who was admiring that, and why do we want them to see us as that again? I want you to answer that question for me.
Those weren't the examples that I had in my mind. Those were the examples that
But that's America. But that's America. But that is America.
No.
So what's shining example?
The shining example, America was the leading and took the forefront in the global pandemics that were stopped, even down to Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford took a proactive stance in leadership. America was the shining example of industrialism and the ability that if one person does not let the obstacles stand in their way, they can be.
So wait, stop for a second. No, we're gonna take I want to take it one by one, right? So America was in front of all of this stuff, right? So this was at the same time when Martin Luther King was talking about how horrible it was that this great country that you're talking about had 40 million poor people, right? That's the country you're saying that people were looking up to? Wait, I just want to be clear about the country.
Okay, but if you're going to go with Martin Luther King, then America was also the shining example of the ability that one can actually stand up, protest, and make a change of injustice, which is what we stopped doing.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
We protest. Wait a minute. What? We protest and do what now?
Okay, all right. Martin Luther King was another part of that shining example of exercising free will.
He got a bullet in it. Wait a minute, he took a bullet.
You're not going to let me finish?
Go ahead.
Okay. Of the simple fact of holding America to that shining example of idealism that basically states that we can make a change.
Wait a minute. So this guy that you're talking about that repeatedly got locked up, had hoses turned on him, right? That America. That America. There we go. We want to get back to that. And Kamala and Biden will get us back to that and get people looking at America as that shining example again. I get it. See, to me,
now you do get Donald Trump was the first one who sat before the world, made a statement, and got laughed at by every leader in the world. When has that ever happened to America?
no, listen, but what you're missing is this. You're missing is this. No. See.
Tell me what I'm missing.
I'm gonna tell you what you're missing. Why do I, as a black American, care? Why do I care? That's my question to you. So you're taking on this thing, right? So Cesare Adams in a feed says we've been in this we've been in the shitter, and he's right. We've been in the shitter since 1619, right? So why do I care? Right, as a foundational black American and American descendants of enslaved Africans, why do I care that he got laughed at? I got bigger issues to be concerned with. See, but that is the distraction, right? Oh, we need a more serious president that nobody laughs at. Really? No, I need a president who has the balls I need a president who has the balls to push for reparations. I need a president who has the balls to sit there, not like Obama, right, who said no reparations, right? I don't need that. I need a president who's willing to stand and lean into the horrors of America. Right?
I do too.
Right, but we don't have that.
And that's what I'm talking about. I'm putting in the simple fact of hope that this next administration will tackle that.
Oh, really? Based on what?
Really?
Based on what background? What have you seen? Wait a minute. You got the vice president of Canada who says, I have nothing specific for black people. You hope what from her? That's what she said. She said, I have nothing specific for black people.
We had the most racist, nasty, Texan vice president who became president and signed the Civil Rights Bill. So people can change. And I'm hoping that this brings change.
Wait a minute, so Donald Trump can't change his next term then? If people can change? See, I'm going to use your word. So if people can change, Donald Trump can't change? He can't see the error of his ways in his next 4 years?
Donald Trump can change, but right now there is nothing in anything that he has done that represents him having a change of heart or mind. Even with that fake, incredibly useless.
You know what? So here's the thing. This is the thing that's killing me. And Cesare, thank you for saying it, because this is the thing so Cesare says, right, with contentment, nobody's come out with an agenda for black people. Right? So I'm like, that shouldn't be something you should want to write and say, well, so nobody has done it. You should be angry about that. I'm angry about it. And I'm angry enough that I'm not going to vote for anybody. But you passively say, well, nobody's done it. Nobody ever does it. But I'm going to still go out and vote. You understand what I said? No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying Cesare says this. So he says, hey, listen, let's end the argument. Because nobody has an agenda for black people. And I'm like, you're damn right they don't. And that's my whole point. And because they don't, why are we investing? What?
That's a whole nother show. In fact, that's the show we did 2 months ago.
Right. So then why are we investing in something that is not going to give us a return on our investment? So according to Cesare's own words.
Let me answer that question with 2 words. Donald Trump. We did not invest, okay? Because there was a decline in the black vote the last presidential election, and we ended up with that jackass.
And there's going to be a decline again.
No. Right now, a multitude of African Americans are tired of this. They're going to They are going to make that change. They are starting to unite right now, even with the attacks, even how they feel about who's running for president. They want anybody but that idiot. That's what I have my hope in. And maybe they will get into office and God will touch their hearts and they'll start following some of that agenda or doing stuff to move the needle or bringing equality. I'm sick and tired of seeing black people getting shot. By
Hey, Vincent, how small is your violin?
It's actually bigger than the soapbox I'm standing on right
I hear the violin. I mean, come on, listen. Nothing's going to fundamentally change for black people. So now they got us all.
Nothing is going to fundamentally change for black people until they stop with that defeatist attitude that it ain't gonna change. The Illuminati's already got it figured out.
No, it's not the Illuminati. It's that it's not going to change because these people who we're now arguing about whether to vote for or not vote for said in the very beginning we're not going to do anything for you. So they said it. They said you're not our priority. Now, so if they told me that I'm not their priority, why would I expect that something's going to fundamentally change? They said it. Joe Biden said. See, we're gonna talk about the words that came out of their mouths. Remember, Joe Biden said, he said, support me to his people. He said, and nothing is going to fundamentally change. Those were his exact words. Am I lying, Vincent? Did he not say that?
No, sorry, I didn't read that part, but I'm going to take it at face value.
I want you to Google. No, Google that quote. Google that quote right now, right? Because he said it. And so now, when he said to those donors, "Hey, nothing's going to fundamentally change if I'm elected," that's what he said. And then Kamala said, "I got nothing specific for black people." So now you got this tandem, right? You got a tandem that says we're going to maintain the status quo. So, but that's what they said to me, and to you, and to every foundational or black American. They said nothing's going to change, but we're hopeful that they're going to do something for us. I want you to understand that. They said nothing's going to change. No, I don't have anything for you. And so they're like the Pied Pipers, and we're running behind them, hoping. And they've given you nothing to hope for. You just have internally this emotionalism about wanting something. But they've not given you an inkling that they were going to do anything for you. In fact, they said specifically, I ain't got nothing specific for black people. That was Kamala. And then for him, he said, did you look the quote up yet? He said, nothing is going to fundamentally change. He said that. Now, if he did say that, right, that nothing's going to fundamentally change.
Okay, I did read his quote, Eric, and it was misquoted.
Okay.
He said, and he was talking to a group of wealthy donors.
Yep.
And he was talking about their financial status. He said nothing is going to fundamentally change.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they were addressing him taxing the wealthy.
No. So here's my point to you. So the issues that have led through policies to job insecurity, to food insecurity, to health insecurity, to housing insecurities. The things that have led to that are policies that have kept the 99% under the foot of the top 1%. And so he said to them about their current status here in America, and their status is what? Let's have the honest conversation. That they see us, black people, brown people, poor people, as the commodity to their wealth and power. And he said to them, don't you all worry. Nothing's going to fundamentally change. They're still going to be the commodity to your wealth and power. We're going to keep everything in place. You don't have to worry. That wasn't taken out of context.
Yes, it was taken out of context.
Okay.
Let's look at a fundamental change that I would like to see. Okay.
Oh, I'd like to see one. Reparations.
Hey, it is. It's there. Now, let's look at this. Okay. Now people are talking reparations, but they talk about it every election cycle. And the majority majority of the black candidates that say it. Okay? Now, so we know that. You think that's going to fundamentally change? I'm hoping that it will. Now, let's look at this. We are right now faced with a president who could care less about reparation and care more for corporations. He's been giving billions and billions and billions of dollars to big corporations, yet he's struggling right now with $600 for people who are unemployed because of the virus.
Wait a minute, let me ask you a question. How much money did Obama give to corporations?
How much did he give a corporation?
Yeah.
They hated Obama because he took 1/4%.
Wait, no.
Obamacare.
No. So
Yes,
wait a minute. Yes. No. Wait a minute. So you're
Yes.
saying? Wait, no. I'm not talking about Obamacare. Not talking about Obamacare. You're saying that a massive transfer of wealth didn't occur under Obama.
Okay, let's talk about that massive transfer of
Now I
wealth.
just asked you a question.
Now, let's talk about that. Go ahead.
No, I'm asking you. Did it occur?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Now, what did it occur for? Because there's a whole lot of fake news and internet circulating on Obama's massive transference of wealth. Obama did one massive transference of wealth, and they've been saying that he's been paying off terrorists and corporations.
No, I'm not talking about terrorists.
No. Let me finish. Obama gave back 75% of the money that we took when we did Gulf War I. And that was part of the Iran, their nuclear project, stopping that. That was the massive transference of wealth that he did. And everybody else has been demonizing him and lying about what he did. So if we're going to talk about it, let's tell the truth.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
No.
Yes. What other transference of wealth did he do? Tell me.
No, I'm going to tell you. So the stimulus package under Obama, right? In the words of my good friend Dr. Dyson, he said it was no stimulus, it was them. That's not true? That's not true? Are you telling me that's not true? Are you? Wait a minute. I ask you very simple questions. Is it true or not?
That stimulus package under Obama was one of the most equal distributions ever.
Oh God.
Ever.
Oh God.
He gave to schools. He gave to individuals.
Come on, Vincent.
He gave to
Vincent, how wide is your straw that you're sucking this Kool-Aid out of? Come on.
Well, obviously it's not as wide as that cup of hate you had this morning.
No, it's not hate. It's my eyes are open, man.
Listen, Eric, you can do all the stuff you want, okay? And you can talk about all the stuff that we have just regurgitated over the last few months, okay? But for right now, we need to unite to get Biden and Harris in office and get Trump out. Period.
Yeah. Well, so look, I'm not voting for Donald Trump, but I'm not voting for Biden, and I'm not voting for Harris either.
Then when you don't vote for Biden and Harris, you're voting for Trump.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you
no,
are.
I'm not.
Yes,
and
you are.
and don't sell that to people, please. Please.
No,
don't tell people. No.
Is that not the truth? Is that not the truth? When you do not vote for one, that's a vote for the other.
No, it's not.
Because the election
No, it's not.
The election is based upon the numbers. So if your number does not vote, their numbers increase.
No, that's not necessarily true. Because
It is true.
I'm gonna give you the math. Ready? I'm gonna show you why it doesn't. So your assumption is that if I don't vote for Biden, somebody equal to me is voting over there, like a teeter-totter, or what they call a seesaw, right? That's not necessarily true. And my counterpart on that side might not vote either. So then neither of us vote. So for you to say no, you can't. No, but see, I'm not going to allow you. I'm not going to allow you to guilt conscious Black Americans who know better into voting, because if they don't vote for Kamala and for Biden, then they're voting for Trump. That's just not true.
Eric, our last election. Blacks did not come out to vote.
Right, but no. I get.
And he won.
No. So understand this. Black people did not come. 1.4 million didn't come out to vote, right? But on the other side, those people felt inclined to vote because they felt that there was something in it for them, and they wanted a return on the investment. Right? And so now what you're suggesting is that these 1.4 million, whether they were getting a return on their investment or not, right, should have come out to balance the vote. I think that that's very dangerous thinking.
Well, it's actually true. It's not dangerous at all.
It's very dangerous because then what it leads to, what it ultimately leads to is a scenario like we have now, right, where this particular side never has to offer you anything other than saying, if you don't vote for me, then you're voting for that other guy. So I don't have to offer you anything except to say to you that if you don't vote for me, you're voting for the other guy. That's dangerous.
It's not dangerous, Eric. It's true. You can ask anyone who's in politics that that's true. If you are not voting for one, you're voting for the other one.
No, you're not. You're just not voting, Vincent. That's not true. You're just not voting.
Okay, if you're not voting, then the people who are voting,
yes,
they don't have that balance to be canceled out, which means that they win. That's true, Eric.
Now, wait a minute. Wait. Now that statement, so those are two different statements, right? And I don't want to get in the weeds on this, but that statement is true. That if you don't vote, right, and somebody on the other side votes, right, then they accumulate more votes. That's true. But you not voting isn't a vote for them. It's just not a vote. And so don't say no.
Eric, let me simplify this. And I hope that somebody will call in and help me to explain this process to Eric. Now, if you take a scale and you have two weights, if you put one weight on the scale, what side does it lean to?
But Vincent, but here's the assumption. But here's the assumption that you're making. You're making an assumption that you have two weights. I'll answer the question. No, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna answer the question directly, and I'm gonna tell you the flaw in your question. So if you have two weights, that's the question. If you have two weights, so let's remember what you just said. If you have two weights, then yes, if you remove one weight, then it's going to be an imbalance. But you're making the assumption that you have two weights. So what I'm saying is this. I'm not assuming that Donald Trump has a counterpart vote to 9. I don't care about that. I'm saying I am one weight. You're assuming that there are two weights. I'm saying there's one weight, and I'm either on the scale or not on the scale. I can't be held accountable for what happens over there. And what you're saying, what you're suggesting is dangerous. And I'm going to tell you this again. It's dangerous to suggest, and it's a borderline Negro whispering, to suggest that black people ought to be concerned not about themselves, because that's what you're saying. Don't give a fuck about yourself. Don't give a fuck about, wait a minute, because now I'm pissed. No, wait a minute. Don't care about yourself. Don't care about your needs. Don't care about what's in it for you. What you need to focus on is what's going on over there, and you need to cover somebody else's ass. That is dangerous. That is dangerous. And that's why black people right now are in the shitter, because we have been loyal to a party to a fault, where we care over and over again about their interests and not our own. And here you are saying right now, be focused on somebody else's interest and not your own.
No,
that's just what you said. That's just what you said.
No, what you are doing is taking what I'm saying out of the context in which I'm presenting. Now, what I'm saying is simply this, Eric. Black people are loyal to a party that has not been loyal to them. I've been saying that for years. But what I'm saying to you right now, Eric, is this. When you do not vote.
Then I just don't vote.
No, let me finish. When you do not vote, you make it that much harder for
I agree with that. Now, wait a minute. Now, I agree with what you just said. When I don't vote, I make it harder. See, that's different than the, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's different from what you said when you said when I don't vote, it's a vote for them. That's not correct. When I don't vote, it makes it more difficult. That is possible. That is very possible. Now, so wait a minute. Let's follow that logic. Let's follow that logic, right? So now you say to me, so Eric, nothing's in it for you. This one says nothing's going to fundamentally change. This one says I got nothing specific for you, right? But Eric, so now we want you to make it easy for them to win. Because if you don't vote for them, it's going to be difficult for them to win. So you want me to be more concerned about them than they are about me.
That again, Eric, is a half truth. And we just did that 20 minutes ago. He said to the white people who are worried about their taxes is that nothing is going to fundamentally change in terms of their tax. Okay? Now, what he also said is that we need our leadership to right that which is wrong in our country today.
That's pandering. That's pandering.
Now, there's the biggest thing and misconception right now that people are using as words on. And the majority of it's coming out of the Russian propaganda. And all they're doing is doing Negro whispering and slave catching.
Oh, so now it's the Russian bots.
Because that's what people believe. The freaking headline without reading the total story.
Now it's the Russian bots. I got it. So either it's the Russian bots or it's black people being guilted into not voting against their own interests. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Black people, listen. Black people are done. Black people are done. They're done. You're done. You're done.
We have more interest right now to invest in the Biden-Harris campaign than we do in the Donald Trump. We have that right now. So it's not you're not gaining anything. You've got everything to gain. We got everything to gain not voting for Donald Trump and voting for Biden and Harris. We've got everything to gain right now in voting for Biden and Harris with the ability to, one, get this virus off of us, two, take care of stimulating our economy, three, is pushing our agenda in terms of equality.
Wait a minute. So you know what? Listen. Here's the other Negro whispering thing. Here's the other Negro whispering thing. When you don't vote, you're an embarrassment to your ancestors. Oh, see, no, I'm not saying you said it. I didn't say that's what you said, Vincent. This is in the thread. I'm reading the thread too, right? And again, I think that is horrible, right? Because I'm not saying don't vote. I'm saying you don't have to vote for him. See, the false choice is like I said, you could write in somebody. So I'm not telling you don't vote. Go write in somebody. Find somebody who is fighting for you. I'm sure there's a third party candidate who's go vote for Marianne Williamson. She said that there's a moral turbulence, and until this country does right by black Americans, American descendants of slavery, nothing is going to improve in this country. So now go vote for her. So I didn't tell you don't vote, whoever this person is. Go vote for her. See, but to say that you have to vote for Biden and you have to vote for Kamala, I'm saying is dangerous. Now, see, here's where black Americans should be, right? You got that candidate who has some specific, and so to Cesare's point, she has something specific. So take back what you said, right? You said none of them did. That's just not true. She said she had some, and Tom's, what was his last name? The billionaire. He had something very specific for black people. They both did, right? And black people discarded them because we are fixated through what you call, Vincent, this Stockholm syndrome to wrap our arms around our oppressor. But we could have off-ramped, and we could have gone with Marion Williamson. We could have off-ramped, and we could have gone with Tom. We could have done that. We could have even gone with Yang. Wait a minute. We could have done that as Black Americans, and we could have leveraged. We could have then leveraged our vote for something. But you know what we did? We sat docilely by, and we allowed, as they always do, the Democratic Party to manipulate the narrative and to get us into this emotional thing about stopping Trump as opposed to saving our lives, right? Because maybe a Marion Williamson would have been about saving our lives, right? Maybe Tom Sawyer would have been about saving our lives. Maybe Yang would have been about saving our lives, because he wasn't wrong, right? Because now they're talking about universal basic income. They're talking about giving people $2,000 a month, right? But we didn't pay attention to that, right? Because we're not black first, we're Democrats first.
Eric,
yes,
all of that is a different narrative, and the whole thing that we said, okay, was that we need to unite to vote him out of office. When you do things like write in somebody, it's the same thing as not voting.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
If you to spread such a
that is crazy. That is crazy.
Everybody has a right to vote for whoever they
That
want.
is crazy, Vincent.
On the ballot,
are you kidding me?
Write in somebody. Do not say that.
Oh my God, that is this is very dangerous right now. So you're saying to people, you shouldn't have a choice now. There's no choice for you. That's what you're saying to people. You don't have a choice. Be a Democrat. Do the Democrat thing. That's dangerous.
Now, they can write in a ballot, and that is true. And everybody has that right. I'm not saying that they do not have that right. But what I'm saying is this: when they do that, it's the same thing. It decreases the chances of him. It increases the chance of him winning.
And not mismanage your statements to make them fit what you wanted to say, Vincent. You cannot do that. That's giving wrong information to people. That's not what we're about here.
So why wouldn't you empower? Wait, so here's my question. Why wouldn't you, if you understand all of the data that we talk about, right? Zero wealth by 2053, an apartheid state within the next 20 years or whatever, right? Like all these things. Why wouldn't we look to empower people to off-ramp and say, you know what, we're going to become a true voting bloc that has very specific demands, right? And we're going to prove our power by voting over here, right? You say, no, don't do that. Wait until the Democratic Party aligns around their interests, and then once they do that, then we need to be herded like cattle to go to the polls and then vote against our interests.
No. Voting for those two is not voting against our interests. Not voting for those two is voting against our interests.
What is our interest, Vincent?
That is not misrepresentation.
What?
Okay. And no, that's not what I would do.
No.
What I'm saying is that we need to unite together to take care of that one.
No, but I'm asking you, what is our interest? So I'm back to that, guys. What is our interest? Our only interest should be economic and political power. That's it.
Okay. But our first interest right now is that we.
Wait, why are we putting that interest on the back burner? Why are we
putting that on the back burner? Because right now people are dying. Disproportionately.
They're not dying because of Donald Trump. They're dying because of the Congress and the Senate, the council people, the mayors, and the governors. So I'm not telling people to just pay attention to that. That's all they're paying attention to, and that's why voting line columns is a problem for people, because you get all the other people behind them to push somebody who does not want to do things for their personal interests.
That part is true. That part is true. But you tell me, how much of our personal interest does the present administration have?
Well,
tell me. Am I wrong about that? Am I saying something wrong about this? He does not have our interests. He's proven that in the last 3 years, 9 months.
So tell me, Vincent, who gives the president power? The Senate, the Congress, who does it?
Well, let's see.
Without the power of one of the houses, which one is it?
Well, actually, Congress holds the purse. The Senate and the Senate has a level of power that they hold too. Not to mention the legislation. Now, from him being the executive,
why none of your conversations talk about them? Because they give him the power. He has no power. They give him the power.
And that's true. That's true. But in terms of power, his power is supported by who?
You tell me. I'm asking you. This is a class for you. Who gives him the power?
Who gives him the power right now is the Senate.
Right.
The majority.
So this is what I'm saying is this.
Talking about those seats.
That's right. And that's all I'm talking about. So when I said to you we want economic and political power.
Hold on. Let me answer that question. Why am I not talking about those two? We do talk about the senator who is up for election right now who needs to leave office. Okay? But what I want to do is this. What we need to do is this. They give him power because he backs them up. Now, I don't know about the other states and who they're voting for. Okay? But I am going to tell you about New Jersey. And what we need to do is cut the head off. Because when you cut the head of the snake, the body dies. And if he's the head right now, and he's the leader, and he's the front runner, we cut that off. We can do something to get some leadership that we can put a curve to this virus.
Yeah.
Now, the other things that you talked about.
I think that you are delusional, and the reason why people vote the way that they vote is because they're delusional and they don't understand civics. Because that's not how it works.
So tell me civics in terms of...
Because if you just told me the Senate is who gives him the power, you just said that out of your mouth. Then why haven't we been talking about the Senate races? Why haven't we been pushing that?
We have been doing that.
No, we haven't.
Every answer comes back.
Stop Trump. And then now, so what I'm saying, and I think what Diana's saying is this: if you want to stop Trump, then get rid of McConnell. You want to stop Trump, get rid of those other senators. You want to get rid of Marco Rubio. You want to stop Trump, get rid of Lindsey Graham. You want to stop Trump, get rid of those people. But you say stop Trump. Wait a minute.
I don't disagree with that.
Wait a minute. But you say wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Here's the big thing, Eric. McConnell, Graham, Rubio are not in my state.
No. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
See, you can't say that they ain't just state because Donald Trump don't live in New Jersey either. So
no, but Donald Trump.
Let's be realistic. What they do in their positions affects us and our state as well, because they work collectively together. So you can't say it's not important. So when you say we need,
I didn't say that it wasn't important.
You need to be talking about the Senate and all of them, because then people will understand and have the conversation that really should be happening is we need to stop the Senate.
I agree with that. I don't disagree with that. I do not disagree with that. I agree with that 100%. But and I'm glad we're finally getting to that, because it initially started off as that yes, we need to support and get these other ones in, but we also need to get in more people who will be a supporting character for them. The biggest problem that presidents have is that the opposing Senate tends to take the majority and it fights them every step of the way. So yes, you are 100% right, and I don't disagree with that. What I'm saying to you right now is that, you know what, we do not need to hear the rhetoric of not voting. We need to hear the rhetoric of get out there and vote, not just for him, but vote down line, because there is a lot going on that we need to make a change for. And let's start and take it from the top of the ticket, which is the presidential election. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I like disagree on so many levels with that. But anyway, listen.
I love it when we disagree. You make up. Hey, what happened to my flowers?
Vincent, they're in the mail.
with your mail-in ballots.
That's how I say. There you go. Hey, listen. If you don't get the flowers, blame it on Trump. Don't blame.
Oh yeah. Yesterday he did admit that he wants to slow down the mail process because of the election, the mail-in ballots.
I did hear that. You know, but like I said, look, if you don't like it, then you have to change the rules of the game, right? Because he's playing the game. We just don't like how he's playing the game. But he's playing the game, and they've all played it. Now people say, well, we didn't play it like that. But, I remember my father used to say, if I hit somebody, I think I said this to you, if I hit somebody, or if I hit somebody and they hit me harder back, I can't complain about how they hit me, how hard they hit me. The fact is I hit them, and so I should never have hit them. So if that's the game, like, do you remember that game, Diane, when you grew up in Hillside, right? Is she on the phone? So we had this game as, where'd you grow up, Vincent?
What?
Where'd you grow up?
Philadelphia.
Ah, like in the rough part?
Like in North Philly.
Okay. So we had this game called Snatchies.
Wait, Eric, did you grow up in a rough part of Newark?
Me? Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute.
Vincent, listen, Eric, did you grow up in a rough part of Newark?
Yes.
So no. So I grew up in different parts of Newark. I grew up in what I guess you would call the suburban part of Newark, right, which is the Weequahic section. I also spent considerable time right off of South Orange Avenue on Alexander Street, right? I also spent many years in Georgia King Village. See, I also spent time down in Miller Terrell in the East Ward. So yeah, I've been around, Diane. What's that song? I've been around, right? So, but anyway, we had a game called Snatchies. Do you remember that game?
Oh yeah.
Right, where you entered into this agreement with people that if they saw that you had food or anything, right, and they could run up and they could snatch it. Well, I mean, if you enter into that, and that's the game, you might have snatched a box of Cracker Jacks from a cat, and then he snatched like a $7 submarine sandwich from you, and you're mad because you only got but that's the game. So you can't, once you enter into the game, you can't say, well, I only snatched, an Almond Joy, so that's all you can snatch. So I can snatch whatever I can snatch, because that's the game. So Donald Trump, like it or not, and I think that what he's doing is horrible, but it is the game. Change the game. Don't hate the player. I said that the other day, and I took heat. And if Jody Pittman is listening, she's probably gonna call in and yell at me again. But I love you, Jody. Anyway, what else is going on, guys? Any other stuff?
Hear more? I don't know, where should I take you? You want to hear stuff in politics? Where do you want to go? You want something local? You want something fun?
Well, yeah,
I just want crazy and fun.
No, we can have crazy fun. Well, we can have crazy and fun. I don't care.
Keep you awake?
No. You know what? I am up. Vincent got me awake. I'm operating on 1 hour sleep, Vincent, and I may not go to sleep until the weekend.
Okay, well, here we go. Union County, Hillside, Liberty Avenue, Main Street in Hillside. They were out there last night painting Black Lives Matter.
Oh, God. Wait a minute. Before we get into that, Diane, you were talking about Hillside. Remember you said you had a PSA.
Yes, I have a PSA. So there was a resident of Hillside that had a fire just recently last week. Literally, the house is completely gone. Her truck was caught on fire, so that's gone as well. Somebody apparently set up a fraudulent GoFundMe account, so she's asking people not to donate to the GoFundMe account. I will be doing a video later on today to direct people where you can send monetary gifts to her church on behalf of the family. But again, do not send anything to the GoFundMe account. I spoke to the property owner this morning. She's upset. Neither she nor her tenant know who these people on the accounts, and they've already started to collect money. So that's one thing that's going on in Hillside. Second thing, like I said, they're out there painting the streets Black Lives Matter on Liberty Avenue. So, to each their. I hope it brings them the accomplishments that they expected to bring. You know, I don't know. I have to wonder, what are they looking for?
Let me ask you a question. Would it be disrespectful to walk your dog on one of those streets that say Black Lives Matter on it?
Well, walking your dog, no, but pooping on it probably would.
Well, that's what I mean.
Especially if you're purposely walking down the middle of the street just to do that, yes. So, it's that, and then yes.
I agree. That is disrespectful to walk your dog down the middle of that street, poop on it. But to the situation with the GoFundMe. I mean, how low can people get? You're going to actually do a scam to capitalize on someone else's tragedy?
Well, con artists are born every day. What can I say?
Well, but they'll find them. See, GoFundMe. See, they'll figure it out through the IP address that the GoFundMe page was set up on using. Like, and they'll track down whoever did it. If GoFundMe.
Well, they've already filed a complaint with GoFundMe to let them know that this was an unauthorized account set up, because they don't know who these people are.
And now you know what? So here's the key in case one of those people is listening. It is wire fraud. See, it is wire fraud.
That means the FBI been knocking on your door.
There we go. Y'all got the alphabet, boys and girls, coming.
Not only that, but there's a special place in hell for people like that. There should be.
Call it go.
Mute your phone, Vincent, because it's off. Unless you're talking.
Caller?
The other,
I think we
what's
have
going on in New Jersey? You got
yeah.
Go ahead.
It's Jody, Mr. Dawson.
Oh gosh.
Oh, it is
Jody. I love you, Jody. As soon as you said it, I was like, and he knows I'm gonna call, right?
Jody, I got flowers coming to you too.
But it's Friday. I'm in a good space. Weekend's here. I'm happy. But he is not a part of the game. I believe that politics is a sport. I think that most people that play it at that level is definitely in a space of the game. But Donald Trump is neither a politician. He is not smart enough. He is not playing a game. He is just feeding at the worst places and spaces of humanity. He has no dignity. He has no intellect. He has no savvy. He is not playing a game, Eric Dawson.
Oh no, he's playing. I believe he's playing the game.
Playing with our lives.
He's playing the game.
He's playing exactly, and that's what's so dangerous about it, right? Like trying to think of somebody that plays the game well, and that'll make Eric Dawson mad. Let's go. Let's play Corey, right? Corey plays the game. It's an insidious game, right? He's a dirty player, kind of like, I don't know, someone from the Pistons, right? He's a dirty player.
Oh, wow. She's going with the bad boys.
Right? He's really good at that game. He's one of the best I've ever seen play that game. He knows where to stoke for race. He knows when to stand up in a crowded room and take a passage out the Torah, a passage out the Bible, a passage out the Quran to feed anyone in that audience that'll let him play them dirty in that game. Right? I do understand that. I don't.
So what is the difference then?
Hey, Jody, you want to say a name that'll make Eric Dawson mad? Say Nancy Pelosi.
That's right. The wealthiest congresswoman in the United States. The wealthiest congresswoman in the United States, Nancy Pelosi. Right? She's playing a game.
Yeah, listen, why would she retire from the game now? She's one of the best at the game. She can barely stand. She can barely stand.
She can't even smile with all the Botox, man.
Shaking from being an elder, right? She's not giving up that game because she's very good at that game. I just get offended because I feel like you're giving Trump credit when you say he's playing the game and he's good at it. No, he just stokes at the worst parts of humanity. He's let it rise. He's let us see it. Yes, you are right. He is not new. We've had 45 presidents and ain't none of them ever did anything for us in this community. I recognize that. Even the Negro who sat in the office, I recognize that. But Donald Trump is something different. This is an ignoramus, illiterate dude that doesn't mind tearing down a whole entire country to be popular. That is not the game.
No, no. The game is you run for president, and if you win, you get the marbles, right? That's the game. And he ran for. He decided.
Eric, seriously, because I love to see your smile too. By the way.
No, but you understand what I'm.
Genuine when you smile over the screen.
But do you understand what I'm saying to you? So look. And I'm not saying
voting rights, right?
Right, but listen to me. I get it, and I'm saying, look, I'm not agreeing with what he's doing. I'm simply saying that if we don't like it, then we have to be about the business of changing the game, right? And the game, the way that they have run this game, they've run it on all of us. And at the end of the day, doesn't matter. Look, Donald Trump, no matter emotionally, but what you feel about him, if you look at all of the KPIs, the key performance indicators, metrics for black people, from 1952 to now, counting his 3 years in office too, Donald, when I said to you, and I think we had an issue when I said a blip, right? So I'm not even talking about the 400 or 397 years leading up to Donald Trump, black Americans here in America. Let's just take from 52 to now. I'm asking you, tell me specifically how black people are worse off. Like, I understand the feeling. Like, I remember you talking about, walking down the street and how, the anxiety, the tension, the whatever, all these different things. I'm saying, yeah, I get that you have some crazy folks who are motivated by, Donald Trump's, reckless behavior, right?
Reckless, unfiltered speech.
No, right. I'll give you all of that. I'm not trying to give him cover. All of that. But I'm saying
failure to white supremacists.
Right. I'll give you. Look, I'm not trying to hide any of that. I'm not trying to give him cover for any of that. I'm simply saying that when you lay all of that on the table, all of it, whatever you want to lay on the table, when you look at the key performance indicators that determine where black Americans are on the totem pole, we didn't get knocked down a rung. We didn't get knocked down a rung in these 3 years. We didn't get knocked down a.
You know what I'm saying?
You're only saying that because it's easy to say that. It's easy to say because he hasn't, I guess, put us all in slavery or something, or tried to go back. That he hasn't touched or affected our community, right? But when he's on television and he's openly saying, "Hey, white suburbia, you don't want those Negroes in your neighborhoods, and you don't want low-income housing because it's going to turn into crime, dirt, and filth." Yeah, that affects me. It should affect.
There you go.
It should affect everybody. When you hear those words and that's spewing across my television line, and my daughter is sitting 2 feet away from me, that affects me. That changes my lifestyle. That makes people believe.
Jody.
Listen, he's on the box, right?
Jody.
He's on the box.
Jody.
Yep.
You know what the problem is with everything that, not that you're saying, but what other people are saying is, you think that removing Trump is going to change our situation.
Right.
And it's not. No, I don't. The reason why is because we ain't got a plan. When he gets out, you don't have a plan when Biden goes in. Even if he gets, no, there is no plan. So we keep saying, Trump, get rid of him. But there ain't no damn plan.
So here's what I think Diane is saying.
When Trump, here's the thing. When Trump gets out, New York is ready to arrest him. Second thing is that Biden, wait, let me finish the second point. When Biden,
if he's convicted, that's nothing in our state of our living. That has nothing to do with it. There is no plan. Honestly, you have no expectations for Biden. All you want him to do is win.
No. I have expectations for Biden. Oh, believe me, I do. In fact, I've even did it. I even paid $200 to be at this freaking Zoom meeting so that I can express to him my expectations. So believe me, when I don't have any expectations, Diane, right? And I swear to you, I don't think that Trump's going to leave office and our lives are going to get any better, right? I'm kind of used to the ditch we in. I'm kind of understanding that no one that has ever been elected has kind of got my interest at hand and trying to dig me out of the ditch, right? It is so complicated for me, at least, right, with Trump. One, because you know what Trump has made me realize? That I am an American. I'm a proud American. I'm embarrassed that the President of the United States is a retard. I'm embarrassed by that. I'm embarrassed that people in other countries are like, look at those crazy Americans. Look at you running amok on their land, on their soil, and they are accepting it, right? I'm embarrassed that the President of the United States got on television and said that the stealth fighter jet disappeared in midair, and he believed it. He really thought that there was a fighter jet that like disappeared in the air. Turned invisible. He said some of the most illiterate, ignorant. They won't. Oh, don't forget drink the bleach. Right? That he won't even change when he misquotes a year and says World War II. And he was wilding out on television. And guess what? He came back on the next day and said the same thing. Listen, I'm not asking for Trump to leave because I think he's suppressing the black man. No, Trump just shouldn't be the president of the United States, and everyone should be railing against that. Everyone should be as exhausted as I am about Trump. That's just how I feel. He is no good for this country. Ready? We are not going to move forward, Diane. We're not with Biden. I'm not a Kamala fan. I kind of wanted my girl that was down with Bernie. Anyway, I'm not down with that. But what I'm saying to you is, he's just something that has to be removed on so many levels. But am I offended as a black American with Trump and his racist rhetoric? Absolutely. But I could just screw so many other things and reasons why he has to go. He has to go because Kanye thinks he can run for president. Shit, I could run for president at this point. Eric Dawson, you would make a wonderful president at this point. Anybody we pick out of ready, we could put Raz Baraka in Donald Duck. Trump has sat there, and that is like would be amazingly stupid. But
so what you're saying is, because the requirements for people to be able to run, you're saying the requirements needs to be changed. Then that's maybe something we need to be discussing.
Yes.
Then that should be something of the discussion.
You're right. I was reading something the other day though, where they talked about how this was going on for a while. This disruption of wanting to put someone in office that was more anti-political and more businessman to stomp out the establishment. But they were looking for a Trump in that space, right? They were looking for someone that didn't mind
fueling fire of all
Stoking the flame.
of this flame, absolutely, to keep a certain people on top.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly. Because Trump, in his unfiltered style, gained popularity when he started talking all of that neo-Nazi, anti-black rhetoric. And they wanted that. They wanted that because of the black agenda, and in their eyes, blacks were making progress.
Yeah.
And yes,
That's my tidbit on a Friday. I love you guys.
I love you, Jody.
Love you too, Jody.
You guys take care.
Jody, I'm gonna have to adopt you as family. Let me know so I can figure that.
T went too far.
When you first started on the show, I didn't even want to talk to you. Now me and Eric are like on opposite ends. You're like my bestie.
Jody, that lets you know that you still got growth because anywhere.
You guys have a good weekend.
You too,
right,
Jody.
God bless you.
State New Jersey, Murphy has now stated this morning that there will be mail-in ballot voting for November's election. And he states because of COVID-19. Now, while that may be okay for some people, Vincent, mute your phone. There are other people who are against the mail-in ballot voting because they understand from what has happened from the last election, from our primaries in June and May for some people, that the ballots did not reach the Board of Elections. They were not counted. They came in late. So there's, and then now on top of this, the federal postal master is talking about he has removed mailboxes out of certain areas, stating that there was not enough mail flowing through those towns. So he's taken mailboxes out of towns. He's removed equipment out of the postal services, the sorting machines, and employees are upset, stating that they are required to work hours without being paid. So what are your thoughts on the mail ballots? Because I don't think there should be a problem with people coming in to vote if they choose to in person, because if they're out, I'm talking about the ones that are out and about, the ones that are out going to the grocery stores, going to the bars, going to the beaches. There should not be a problem setting the polling sites for them to come and vote and still have the mail-in ballots in addition. What are your thoughts, Eric? You awake?
Yeah, I'm awake. I think that with mail-in ballots, there are challenges with them, and they know how to maneuver elections with mail-in ballots. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I just, I think it's a mistake.
A mistake to do all mail-in?
Yeah, I do.
Why do you think so?
Well, because the way that the system is currently set up, if you do all mail-in ballots, because I've seen it, I mean, from the inside, how how your ballots can get thrown out, how other ballots, the machine decides that the political machine decides that they're going to validate these ballots. There was an election in West Orange that I was in where the mail-in ballots came in and they challenged the signatures on them. And like literally on thousands of them, and then now the candidate has to go get a lawyer. So the way they can manipulate that thing is dangerous and certainly to their favor. So
I think it's interesting that he's going to let this go on for mail-in ballots, because prior to the ballots, you have to get a petition signed to be on the ballot to begin with. There has been no change, really effective way to gain those petitions without having that face-to-face contact but yet he's saying that to vote, we should be doing it by mail. So I don't understand. One thing you're saying, it has to be face to face to confirm those signatures, to get them from the individuals, and then to get on the ballot. And then now that the ballot's been being printed and it's time to vote, we're going to do all of that time. So him using the excuse of COVID-19 is it's like he's bouncing all over the place.
Well, I do have to say, because of COVID-19, I think that mail-in ballots are a great idea to keep people safe. Now, and Eric, you're absolutely right. In my election, there was a big issue with mail-in ballots because I got most of my votes in early, and they were dismissing them for all kinds of crazy stuff. Now, but we're looking at two things. This is a presidential election in which there is going to be a great deal of bad actions by bad actors. We know that. Now, I think that they can dismiss a few because they're very good at it, but they cannot dismiss them all. I think that, I'm leery about going out. I mean, I'm a cancer survivor, and I'm still dealing with a weak immune system. I do not want to be standing out there with people who I have to now talk to about wearing a mask or keep socially distant for hours because everybody has to be 6 feet apart and the line is 3 miles long.
Well, then there's options to that, and then the options come into, and this is what I say, they're not really having conversations about how to safely do this, because, for instance, you can do the mail-in ballot if your immune system is compromised, or if you're a senior, you don't want to come out. You can still do the mail-in ballot, but then there should be options for those other people who want to make sure that their vote is counted immediately at that time at the polls. The other option should be that at the same locations where they have the polling sites, they should also have mail boxes to pick up for you to drop off your ballot as well as outside of every Board of Elections office. There should be a ballot box where you can just securely fill out your ballot at home and come and drop it off. No lines, no interference with other people. All you do is drop it in the box, and that should be taken out daily from the Board of Elections. What I'm saying is, he's not even giving real alternative options. He's just saying this is how it's going to be done. So while you're saying you don't want to be compromised, other people saying they want to be out there, but then down the middle, he's saying, oh, we're doing this because of COVID-19, which in actuality, you haven't really thought out the plan. You're just going for what you think is the easy thing. And if you know as a governor, a Democratic governor, that the president who is Republican is saying that he is doing everything in his way possible to alter the post office to keep your people from getting ballots, you as a Democratic governor should be doing more to make sure that the ballots are going out in your state earlier, that there is enough ample time for people to get the ballots back, and there are multiple locations for people to drop ballots off. But he's not doing that.
Well, I mean, there are other options that he can do, but how many? And I agree with you that that especially that a lot of people do like options, and maybe he is taking a very mediocre way of getting it done. However, we have to say a few other things about the ballot elections or the machine elections. How many times in the Obama elections that people were saying that when they pushed this button, it lit up for the other?
Right.
So how many times have people been saying that they went up to vote for Obama and all of a sudden their name was not on the freaking list? There are going to be trickeries, and make no excuse. Trump even admitted that he wants to do everything he can to stop the mail-in ballot. No, let's. It's not a great choice, but it is a good choice that everybody can actually engage in. I'm hoping that they put some people in place to stop some of the thievery and bad actions so that we can get an honest and decent election. I'm hoping that, at some point in time, we get rid of the Electoral College.
Well, in actuality, there is a law that's put in place by the federal government, by the Federal Postal Office, that says that anybody who impedes or tries to distract or stop mail from going out is a federal offense. But I guess the postmaster is not under those directives. So we'll see.
Oh, yeah. The postmaster is going to invoke a federal law against the person who put him in that office? Yeah, that's going to happen.
So the next topic is, and we got 15 minutes, and this is good because this will take us out. There has been conversation, and we talked about it before, and now we have Professor Dougherty is talking again, saying that he's arguing that meaningful programs need to eliminate the existing black-white wealth gap and require an allocation of between $10 trillion to $12 trillion, or about $800,000 to each eligible black household. But not everyone agrees that now is the time to pay reparations. And my thought is, and this is happening before, if enough people start to talk about it, Biden and Harris are going to have to talk about reparations and a rollout plan to gather up the rest of those black support votes. Otherwise, he will not win, because there are a lot of people on the left side, ADOS people, who will not support him if they do not talk about that, knowing their history of prosecuting and locking people up. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a great idea to hold their feet to the fire and find out their true agenda for us. I think that, I think that we need to, how can I say it, hold our vote to a higher standard. If they want our vote.
But wait a minute. Are you the guy who just argued down with me about voting for two people who have nothing to offer, and now you're saying hold our vote to a high standard? Hey, wait a minute. Did you just say that? You just said.
I did.
Did you say?
And no, I didn't say two people. You said that those two people have nothing to offer us, and I was saying that those two people are better than what we have.
Wait a minute. So what? So wait. Let me ask you a question. What standard should we be holding our vote to?
Listen, we're at the point now where, people are starting to realize the power of our vote and our voice.
No, that's not the question I asked you. So do we set the standard? Wait a minute. So are we setting the standard, or have they set the standard and now we've lowered our standard to accommodate them to get this guy out?
Our standard, the standard of the black vote has been devalued so much that they don't even participate and come in our area to lie to us.
You're right about that. That's what I'm saying. So no, we don't have a standard. We don't. We're Democrats. We don't have a standard. We're Democrat. That's it. And because you're a Democrat, right? There's no standard. I think that.
But I think this is an opportunity to give our vote standards.
Yeah, I think that the ship has sailed, Diane, in terms of, like you saying, if enough people talk about it, they'll have to talk about it in order to get the. There's such hubris with the Democrat elite that they believe, just like they did in 2016, that they could shove anybody down black Americans' throats, because historically blacks have been the most loyal to the Democratic Party. So they believe that loyalty, as well as the very copious positioning of Negro whisperers and slave catchers, they believe that they've got it all set. That anybody who seeks to run off the plantation, they got a slave catcher to bring him back on, right? Anybody who's thinking about, some level of independence, they got a Negro whisperer in their ear telling them, there's always going to be a candy land, right? So they don't have to worry about having a conversation about reparations. That's what they think. Think about this. Think about when that young lady stood before Hillary Clinton with that Black Lives Matter banner, right? For a minute, the corporation white supremacy and the elite within the Democratic Party, they were shook, right? Oh shoot, what do we do about this? And then you didn't hear anything else about Black Lives Matter. Because they know that it was all emotional. They know our level of sophistication or lack thereof when it comes to politics. And all they have to do is roll that shiny red ball out there and we'll become distracted like 2-year-olds. That's right. And so, like you said, Diane, our reparations right now is that we get to paint Black Lives Matter on filthy streets where drug deals are going on around the corner. That's our reparations. You see, but listen.
The thing is that our reparation, they keep telling us what they're going to give us instead of us demanding what we want.
Yeah.
That's the part that I really hate about it. You know? And then everybody's like, ooh, $8,000? Okay, great, I can get a PlayStation. I mean, come on. Is the life of your ancestors worth $8,000? The sweat, the toil, the humility, the abuse, the deaths? That's worth $8,000? Come on, people. We need to push for more. If we're going to make a demand of reparations, let's make it a true reparation. Do you know how many millions they gave Japan when they bombed them?
Well, listen, there's already data that's out there. There are people who've done the work, right, around what they believe the damages are and what the cost should be. And again, not just in dollars, right, but in impactful policy changes that will encourage wealth growth in black community
and empower black people to and leveling that actual playing field. Yeah. Oh, by the way, there's a show called The Many Shades of America with Kamal Bell. He will be talking reparations Sunday at 10 o'clock on CNN.
Yeah.
With 4 of the leading experts on it.
But again, they're going to allow the conversation to happen. It's the carrot that's being dangled in front of us. Like, ooh, we're top of mind. You know, they're talking about reparations. And yeah, they'll keep talking about it. My grandmother, what I tell you my grandmother said, I can't hear what you're saying for what you're doing. Right? And so the question is, what are you doing? Not what are you saying? You can have all of these panels now. I'm telling you, watch. You can have more black folk being rolled out on MSNBC and CNBC and CNN and all these talking about what black people deserve. And then black people are going to become all emotional about, see, they're finally talking about us. We finally going to get our day has come. And they're going to snatch it from you. Right under, like a rug right under you. That's what they're going to do.
See, the thing is that now they've gotten so sophisticated that they don't even lie to us anymore. They just say, we're going to have a conversation. America was based upon the promises. Did anybody get their 40 acres and a mule? Did they live up to the treaties that they made with the Indians? Come on. Let's look at what we're dealing with.
Look,
I'm tired of the talk. I need action.
Well, you can't have action because you're too busy worried about Trump. You ain't talked about the senators. So what action are you giving?
Oh, why would I not talk about the senators when I was running for Senate? Now cut that out, Diane. And I've been talking about Trump because right now that is...
All right, hey guys, can I interrupt you?
It has to change.
I think this is fascinating. I'm sorry. I just got a text message. So, and I put it on my page yesterday. My cousin is having an amazing operation today. And I'm getting these updates. He's having a heart and kidney transplant. Right? That's at the same. Well, they have to do both at the same time. He needed a heart and needed a kidney, and so I just got an update. This is bananas to me. It says from my sister, says she just got word from, I guess, however they report what's going on, that the heart is in and working as it should. Now they're moving to the liver. That, like, I mean, I Michael is 9 years younger than I am, and has been suffering a lot of illness, right? And I guess for the last couple of months, he's been in a hospital, and they wouldn't let him leave until he was able to get this surgery. I've never known anybody that had a heart transplant or kidney, any kind of transplant. So this is, it's frightening for me, because it's my, my relative, but it's also fascinating to see, where medicine is, right, where all this stuff is, and that, hopefully, prayerfully, he'll have a better quality of life when it's all over. I just had to share that because it literally just came through, and my whole family is like anxiety written over this thing.
I know. I went through the same thing, and I mean it's going to be a long procedure, but I'm going to say that one of the things is that my prayers are with your family and going through this. Also, the worst thing about it is that when they go through a situation like this, their lives are actually in the hands of doctors, and there's very little or very much nothing that we can do, and except for pray that this doctor is good at his profession, and that he will, perform a successful operation that will better his life. I'm hoping that does work out and that it does happen. So definitely my prayers are with the family.
Wow. I remember when Mike went this was a few years ago, his heart was functioning at like 10%. And they had him in Beth Israel. And I went to go visit him. And he was in this room with this caution tape all on one side of the room where you couldn't go. And so I asked him, what was that? And it was this whole device that was in the room, and he had tubes connected to him that were feeding his blood across the room through these tubes to this massive device, which was functioning as a heart. It was bizarre for me to watch this. And so he was like, yeah, you can't go over there because if somebody happened to trip on something, like literally it could kill him. So like they had the whole other side of the room just like caution tape that we couldn't go. And then they inserted what they call like an electronic heart, and then he had a case that he had to carry for a couple of years. This little case that it would look like a backpack that had whatever device in it that kind of kept him going. And I remember one day he said, I got to get home. And I said, well, what's going on? He said, because the battery was running low on this thing. And if the battery ran low, then that would be it. It's crazy. And now he's getting a human heart, somebody else's heart put inside of him.
My in-law has the heart of a 16-year-old girl in his transplant, and my father had a transplanted lung of a 20-year-old. Believe me when I tell you that the technology and procedures that they've been doing on these transplants have improved, and the survival ratio has been up incredibly. I think that he is in great hands, and as my pastor used to always say, if you're going to worry, don't pray. But if you're going to pray, then don't worry. So, pick a side.
Pick a side.
And be on. Yeah. Pick a side.
So listen, it is Friday. Hey, Diane. So,
Yes.
So for those of you who pray, please pray for Michael Austin, my cousin. My tomato, I got a tomato that yesterday, was I talking to you and I said it looks like my tomato's turning a color?
Yeah, you did.
Well, I came out this morning and it's a brighter color now. So I'm going to probably in the next day or two be picking a tomato. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that. I'm sorry. But I guess the little things in life, but I am excited about my tomato. I saw your bountiful harvest. You have more tomatoes than I do to harvest right now, but I got a lot of tomatoes on my tomato plant, and so I'm looking forward to it. That's gonna be my weekend.
I mean, Diane has like a farmer's market in her yard.
She does. Well, you can go curbside. She'll deliver. No, don't do that, guys. People show up, Diane, like.
They come over here if they want to. They may not like what they get.
Diane's got a bear that lives with her.
Diane got a big A dog in her.
Yeah, she does.
Too.
Well, listen, guys, I want to thank you guys for listening. We have spirited conversations about all this stuff. At the end of the day, I think we all want better for the black community, for black Americans here in America. And we got to make ourselves a priority, in what we do. And we have to have a clear understanding of what it is that we expect. Because if you don't expect anything, you're not going to get anything. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a safe weekend. Vincent?
Einstein said insanity is the same person doing the same thing expecting a different result. Yes, Mom's Mabley said it different. She said, you keep doing what you're doing, you're always going to get what you got. We need to make a change, not just the presidential, but our local politics, our senators, our congressmen, our state representatives, our state senators. We need change. It is time that now we go into action and start demanding what we want, rather than accepting what they give. Enjoy your weekend. Our prayers are with the family of Eric Dawson for a speedy recovery, and that God guides the hands of the surgeons who are performing the operation. If it's God's will, Monday we'll be back to exchange our agreements and our disagreements. Be safe, wash your hands, keep your distance. God bless everyone.